on prevention, infection, control, and what have you. And all the nurses in the whole country know how these infections come about and how the prevention should be. For me and my team here, and on behalf of the nurses of this country, we want to focus on how do we do it. Let me bring a small picture of COVID-19. COVID-19, nurses worked seriously. They died, they got infected. Others are also disabled due to COVID-19. And the issue here is that our members or our nurses were not compensated during COVID-19. Those who were trained to confront the COVID-19, up to today they were not paid. And the way they terminated their roles or their contracts was not a proper way. And I have told government that let us reserve these nurses so that they confront tomorrow any disaster coming. Now, we have not yet even finished a month or three. COVID is still around. Now we have got Ebola coming. Now, should those nurses come back to work to confront Ebola, then what about their compensation? So now, this is now to teach us a lesson, and also we are giving an advice to government that these reserve nurses which were there should be called upon and be paid, and they do the work. They go back to confront Ebola, because this group of nurses are specialized nurses now, because they train on confronting or attending to critical ill patients or the infection. So that is demand number one, which I want to call government to do for the nurses who were working on COVID. They should be compensated, they should be paid their allowances, and they should be deployed to the sites of Ebola now. Number two, we call government immediately to look at the welfare of those who are at the site of Ebola now. Those districts mentioned, they are nurses who are the first people to confront the patients. So we need, in case of anything, government should pay them some responsible allowance for them to work well as they do their duty. Number two is to look at, should a nurse die of Ebola right now? We are calling upon government to prepare some money for compensation. Government should compensate a nurse who has died on Ebola. At least 50 million shillings can be compensated to this nurse, to their family, because the nurse has gone and we cannot have the nurse back. So the nurse should be compensated, at least the family should be compensated at least 50 million shillings. Also, government should get prepared on the protective cares to protect our nurses in order not to get infected by Ebola. So PPEs should be available in the casseted areas, wherever. And now we don't know where and where, but every hospital now should have these protected cares so that it will be at least able to protect our nurses. Government also should have a special treatment for these people. In case a nurse gets a problem or a doctor get such a problem, we should have a specialized place for their treatment, not to be treated in a general public hospitals. You should have a specialized cassetted area for attending to these nurses or doctors for this time. So in conclusion, as midwives and as nurses and midwives of this country, we alert everyone that Ebola is around the clock, Ebola is with us. We need you to be very vigilant, be prepared, attend duties, attend to all patients, but knowing that Ebola is around. So treat every patient to have Ebola so that you don't be a victim. So treat everyone as he has Ebola. So whenever you are touching the patient, whenever you are with the patient, protect yourself and know that the patient has Ebola so that you don't come into contact with the Ebola as quick as possible, because you are going to look after very many patients at the time. So I thank you very much for the work you are doing. I thank the government for the response. I saw yesterday the president, the ministers, and the Minister of Health, the PSS, doing great job on social media. We thank you, but our demands should be very well elaborated and should be attended to for the nurses and midwives on the cassetted areas of Ebola. Thank you very much. To love and serve for God and my country.
Is it something you heard about? And if yes, what is it that you do to ensure that they are well catered for? Because yes, you have put your plea before to have a specialized gazetted area for these people to be treated.
Mr. President, I beg that
the second question.
you note down the question so that I ask them at once and you respond.
Number two, why are we always working in a fire brigade manner? We seem not to learn lessons, because this is not the first time Ebola is coming. It's actually attacking Uganda. But you find we are gotten unprepared. So
Yes, Mr. President, we understand very well there was a team of nurses who were hired to work during the COVID-19 pandemic, and they were, their contracts were terminated